Good day. I'll be discussing regarding the intellectual crisis of the 12th century. So, what really happened during that time, and why there was a crisis? Beginning of the 12th century, the Latin Church was the dominant institution and the chief unifying force of Western and Central Europe. However, a controversy developed when Berengar of Tours rejected the doctrine of transubstantiation. Berengar believed that the body of Christ was crushed by the teeth of the faithful and the blood of Christ was present in a sign. Because of this, two issues were opened. First was over the reason itself. According to St. Peter Damian, faith required no support from logic and revelation was already enough. However, according to St. Anselm of Canterbury, reason could illuminate faith and improve understanding. The second issue was that of universals, which had been first raised by the 6th century Christian philosopher Boethius and was implicit in the arguments of Berengar of Tours. Kinds of universals. First is the realism, where it states that universals were real and they constituted the substance of things. The other one is nominalism, where believed that universals were merely nomina or names that reflect little more than arbitrary linguistic conventions. Then a greater movement called Cathars, also known as Albigensians, embraced a dualistic system reminiscent of Zoroastrianism or the ancient Manichaees. They believed that the God of the Old Testament, who created it and who created the world, is evil. They had no clergy and was forbidden to own a property, to have sex or eat anything that is a product of sexual union, such as meat, fish, and eggs. In the year of 1200, the Cathar faith had attracted thousands of adherents in southern France and enjoyed the support of powerful figures, and the church was on the defensive. 1209, when a papal legate was murdered from trying to reconvert the Albigensians, Innocent III was infuriated. He sent an army composed largely of knights from northern France under the leadership of Simon de Montfort for massacre and atrocity. The slaughter of the Albigensian crusade happened near the Pyrenees Mountains when the people of Béziers refused to surrender some Cathars living there. After how many years of trying to take down the Cathars or the Albigensians, the last great Cathar stronghold finally fell and more than 200 Cathars were burned together on a huge pyre after they refused to abjure their faith. During this time, transubstantiation has become a dogma of the Church, and the Church has already defined the 7 sacraments. It was also the time when the Inquisition was given under papal control and to use every means possible to secure a confession, like torture and stuffs. 12th century was also the time where the emergence of universities has been started.
It is the revival of learning that had led to a proliferation of competing schools in such centers as Paris and Bologna.
At Paris, the students were more likely adolescent males who lived without supervision and were capable of rape, theft, and murder. Grievances were ignored, while attempts to arrest student criminals often led to bloody riots. On the other hand, Bologna were less violent. It was because its faculty emphasized the study of law instead of theology or liberal arts. And the students were more likely to be older men of considered influence who were adept of securing imperial and papal privilege without knife play. The term scholasticism generally used to describe the thought of the medieval universities. It was not an ism in the modern sense that is an ideology or system belief, but a method for dealing with a wide range of questions in theology, philosophy, ethics, and natural sciences. Thus, the intellectual crisis of the 12th century was because of the diverse ideas and beliefs of the people before, and of course because of the scholastic thought or the scholasticism. That would be all, and thank you for listening.